So here's the billion-dollar question on everyone's mind. Did OpenAI just drop a bombshell that could actually kill Google Chrome? Yeah, we're talking about their new AI-powered web browser. Let's dig in and figure out what this thing, ChatGPT Atlas, is really all about.
Okay, first things first, this is not just another browser. We're talking about something that could totally change how we use the web. Instead of all the clicking and typing, you just tell an AI what you want. But, and this is a big but, that kind of power comes with some serious risks. So, what's the real story here? Is it a revolution or a disaster waiting to happen?
And you know, this quote from OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman, it just hits the nail on the head. He says, tabs were great, but we haven't seen a lot of browser innovation since then. And that's their whole angle, right? They're saying the browser, this tool we use every single day, has basically been stuck in the past, and they think they've just built the next big leap forward.
All right, so what is this thing? What is ChatGPT Atlas, really? Let's pop the hood and see what's going on.
Okay, at its core, Atlas is a web browser where ChatGPT isn't just an add-on, it's literally the engine. It's built right into its DNA. The AI is the whole point. And here's a key detail. It's built on Chromium. That's the same open source project Google Chrome uses, which means, for a lot of you, it's going to feel pretty familiar right out of the box.
And that actually brings up a really good point. When you fire this thing up, what's going to look familiar and what's going to be totally new territory? So on one side, you've got all the stuff you'd expect, right? The basics you can't live without. Tabs, bookmarks, all that jazz. But then you have the really revolutionary stuff, the new AI tools. And there are two features here that are the real headliners, the ones we really need to zoom in on: browser memory and agent mode.
All right, let's dive into those two game changers, because honestly, memory and agent mode are what make Atlas completely different from any browser you've ever used before. So browser memory, think of it like this. It turns your entire browsing history into your own personal, super smart search engine. You know that feeling when you're trying to find a site you saw last week, but you can't remember the name? Instead of guessing keywords, you can just ask the browser a question, just like you'd ask a person. And here's a perfect real-world example of how powerful this is. During a demo, someone literally just asked, "Hey, I was looking at some tools yesterday. What were they?" And boom, Atlas just scanned their history and pulled them right up. I mean, how many times have you lost track of an important article or a product page? This feature is designed to make that a thing of the past. Okay, now for agent mode. This is where things start to feel like sci-fi. This isn't just about finding stuff anymore, it's about doing stuff. You tell it what you want, and the AI literally takes control of the mouse and keyboard inside the browser to get the job done for you. It's pretty wild. Let's take something simple, like grocery shopping. Instead of you having to click around, search for items, add them to the cart, the agent does all of that. You just say what you want, it goes to the site, fills up the cart, and then just shows you the final result for you to approve. The whole idea is to take all those boring, repetitive online chores off your plate. And they've got one more really cool trick up their sleeve, a built-in writing assistant. So you're writing an email in Gmail. You can just highlight what you wrote and ask ChatGPT to tweak it, make it sound more professional or maybe funnier, whatever you need, and it does it right there on the page. You don't have to copy and paste anything, it's seamless. So, all of that sounds amazing, right? A smarter, faster, more helpful internet. But, and you knew there was a but coming, this is where we need to pump the brakes and talk about the flip side. Because with all this power comes some very real risks. You see, OpenAI's vision for this is huge. They have this term for it, vibe-lifing, which is a bit of a weird phrase. But the idea is a future where you can just hand off huge parts of your digital life, both personal and professional, to an AI agent that just gets you. But let's get a reality check here. The early feedback is that for a single, quick task, agent mode can actually be slower than just doing it yourself. The real power, at least on the line, might be in giving it a whole list of things to do at once while you, I don't know, go grab a coffee. For now, the efficiency isn't quite there yet. The much bigger worry, though, is security. And the number one threat has a name: prompt injection. Now, what this means is that a malicious website could hide secret instructions on its page. So when your AI agent visits it, it gets hijacked and tricked into doing things you never approved of, like stealing your data.
And look, this isn't just OpenAI's problem. Not at all.
Security experts from Brave, which makes another browser, are saying this is a deep, systemic challenge for this entire category of AI browsers. It's a really, really tough nut to crack.
So what can you do to stay safe? Well, the good news is OpenAI did build in some privacy controls. You can still use an incognito mode, you can turn off the memory feature completely, and this one is super important, you can tell the agent to run tasks while logged out so it can't access your sensitive accounts. But at the end of the day, you've still got to be careful.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture here, because the launch of Atlas is already making huge waves in the tech world. And if you want proof of just how high the stakes are, check this out. While OpenAI was doing their live announcement, Google's stock dropped 3%. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but that's billions of dollars in value that just vanished in minutes. Why? Because Wall Street is genuinely worried this could be a real threat to Google's whole business. What we're seeing here is a push towards a future where the whole way we browse changes. The idea is that we won't need to juggle 20 tabs to do research or click through some clunky website. We'll just have a conversation with an AI, and it will do all the heavy lifting for us. But that leads to a massive, and I mean massive, question that nobody has a good answer for yet. If an AI is doing all the browsing for us and we're not actually visiting the websites, what happens to the entire online economy? What happens to all the creators and sites that depend on ad revenue from people like you visiting their pages? This could completely upend the way the internet makes money.
So when you boil it all down, it comes to this. We're being offered a vision of the internet that's way more powerful, way more convenient, and completely personalized to us. But the price of admission might be accepting a whole new level of risk to our privacy and security. And that's the ultimate trade-off, isn't it? The big question for all of us is that a price you're willing to pay?